Host David Lee. Glad to see everybody. Glad to see everyone has come on for the big live stream. It's nice to be on the comic book channel again. I haven't been on here for a live stream in, well, a week. But glad to be back. Hopefully everybody's finding this all right. Hey, TJ Fritz, good afternoon unto you. Hey, True Sinister. Yeah, thank you for coming on. Hope everybody expecting the wrestling channel is going to be here right now today. It would be very nice. So we can get that live stream in. Our Friday live stream. Fall a bit behind on the comic book front. Hey, Tim Castillo. Good. Seeing everybody slowly filing in. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a lag for me. Don't know if anyone else is experiencing it, but just check to make sure. I love the Discord as soon as you came on. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully everybody will be joining you shortly. Just give me 1 second. Just checking something here. Just switching over to something real quick. Okay, so yeah. Everybody coming on. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so right. Yeah. Everybody coming on. Well, thank you for the like. You should know the like. Hey, Kendall. Unfortunately, I also have the apparatus I used for the drawing videos. The whole other camera to face the drawing has conveniently been misplaced, shall I say. I have no idea. I have no idea where it is. I've left it. Hey, Warhog Ramble. I left it in a very specific. I had it in a very specific place here at the studio, and then I came in, and I've left it. No one, and it was gone. And I asked everybody who was here, and nobody knows where it is. So no one knows what happened to it. And then I came in, and I've left it. No one. You need two of me. And I asked everybody who was here, and nobody knows where it is. So sorry. Hopefully that helps. Anyone else having that problem where you're hearing an echo? Hopefully that solved it. I should not be an echo. Anybody else having an issue? It's all good now? Okay, yeah. Sorry, I had something come on. Too many voices. All right, hopefully that's all good. Okay, thanks. Oh, no. Nathan Norman. Yeah, so normally I would be doing some of the drawing, but yeah, the apparatus I used for the drawing live streams is no more, or not here. Hey, AJ Envoy. So yeah, I don't know how that happened. Everyone says no. I know nothing about it. Everyone who works here is like, hey, Joshua, hey, good to see you. Long time no see. Yeah, so everybody who works here has no clue what happened to it, and I am saddened to say that my apparatus for drawing live stream is no more. Hang tight. If anybody wants to be kind enough to notify the Discord, I think you guys did already, but notify them that I am on the comic book channel today, that would be great. I am trying to do something a little bit different, though. Someone stole it. I can't imagine that anyone would steal it, though. I mean, maybe someone did, but I can't imagine that anyone did. I'm actually going to try to do something. Hold on. Bear with me. Just want to do a little post on the wrestling channel in case there are some people who are expecting me to be live streaming on the channel. So I decided to post, make a little post here. Yeah, and make sure you guys turn on the notifications. All right, sorry about that. Just okay, I'll take care of that later. All right. Asked the janitor. I did not ask to see. That's the other thing I wondered. Security. It's not that complicated. It's not impressive. Like I wouldn't imagine anyone on Earth would steal it because like I made it myself out of, and it doesn't look impressive either. So I couldn't imagine that A, anybody would want it, and B, that they wouldn't think to just get it somewhere else. It's not like you can sell it for a large amount of money. So I couldn't imagine anyone did. In terms of the custodial staff, in terms of the janitor, there is one thing I thought because the normal custodial staff here is actually on vacation. The head of our janitorial division here is a husband and wife team, get along great, and they actually took a well-deserved vacation, so they're not here right now, and so we have different custodial staff taking over. So I wonder if maybe they thought they thought it was something, they thought it was garbage, because again, it is not impressive. It was not impressive looking whatsoever. So if they might have mistaken it for garbage because they're new and they didn't know. So that is something I thought. I did wonder if they might have mistaken it for garbage. But it's not like I put it in a place that you would think was meaningless. I put it on top of a file on this a cabinet. Maybe it fell down and then they thought it was garbage, or maybe something happened. Or, I don't know. Hey, what's up? Capital Wrestling, aka Stephen James. Glad that you were on the live stream, on the wrestling live stream yesterday, because I came on yesterday to make up for the fact that I was going to be on the comic book channel today. So, normal wrestling day on the comic book channel, normal comic book day on the wrestling channel. So, we switched it up. I always put stuff up and can never find it when I need it, so I understand. Yeah, it's been a while. Like you guys know it's been a while since I've done the comic book live stream drawing show, and I have searched all over this place. I have no idea where it is. Watching your stream and getting ready for my tattoo. Whoa, two things at once. Nervous? That's nice, TJ Fritz. Yeah, so Nathan Norman. Yeah, I think that could have been a possibility, but oh well. Again, it was not expensive or impressive looking, it's nothing I couldn't remake again. And the whole thing, if the whole thing cost me $2 to make, I'll be surprised. 3 tops. There's a chance it was like $1.88 or something. I recently found my Batman vs. Predator 3 comic nice. I'm super surprised that it hasn't made into a movie yet. I'm not. They're having a hard time getting Batman off the ground right now, so there's that. That's right. It's Capital Wrestling personified in the form of the voice of Capital Wrestling, Stephen James. Yeah, I said it, Harry. Do you have a Lost and Found? No. Yeah. Well, yes, we do, but it's not here. Ooh, Nightfall. Nightfall. The Azrael part, when he takes over, I don't care for that. But everything leading up to it, like, look, Steve's a tough dude. Well, hope you enjoy, Harry Flynn. Hope you enjoy Endgame. Dave, do you think modern wrestlers are marks for themselves? Not really. I mean, I understand that concern or that thought because, but you kind of have to be. And you could make that argument. But rule number 1 in show business is never believe your own hype. So I think that if you are a mark for yourself, you kind of work your way out of the industry real fast. How's everyone's day, Ben? What's up, Steve? All right, Zach Bro. All right, Dave. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, excellent. Prepared to have your mind blown. Doing great. Was then here, David Stream. Okay. Hey, Arthur Pryor, and thank you. Yeah, well, yes, Double A. Well, you ought to know. Thanks to you. I don't know why it defaulted to the banner, though. I gotta fix that later on. How's it going, Zach? Dave, I saw Endgame and enjoyed it. Any thoughts on it? Well, because it was ruined for me, I had a sour experience. Last week, I was on the live stream for a comic book channel, and I kind of went off in a since deleted stream. But everybody who was on late at night who got to hear my rants know where I'm at on it. But still, not spoiling it yet. I'm still going to give it some time. Can we talk about Endgame with spoilers now? Harry Flynn hasn't seen it yet. I think we'll hold off on that. I think I'll hold off on a lot because I've also thought about doing like a couple of videos on it, and I know it's probably good to strike while the iron's hot, but I kind of don't want to ruin it out there for everybody. And plus, everyone's already answering things because there's a lot of things that are might require explanation after seeing the movie that have gotten some explanations that I think we could explain. I thought about doing a video for it now, but still no. Still holding off on it. I think Steve's rule of 2 weeks might be all right. Might be a good thing to go about. Avengers Endgame is probably the last Marvel film I'm going to watch. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm never going to stop watching it. DJ Fritz, I don't care if you're kidding, knock it off. Hey Dave, have you seen Deceased, the comic? I have seen the covers of it. I have not read it. I have heard it is pretty good, though. Thoughts on Daniel Bryan getting cleared? Good. Glad to see he's not permanently hurt. Where do you think Marvel is going onto Phase 4? Well, apparently they're going into more cosmic realms, and I do think eventually we are going to see the X-Men and the FF join the fold, and I can't wait. Nothing is happening anytime soon. Where do you think Marvel? Ryan is a major mark for himself. I think I hear that argument, Arthur, but I think it's all an act. Like, also keep in mind that even in Twitter and even in personal interviews, don't think the kayfabe stops. There are a lot of people who are just keeping the shtick going, even though that they're not in a formal wrestling show. Don't think that just because this is allegedly private, they're really like that. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. Maybe he's serious, maybe he's kidding. You don't know, Harry Flynn. Okay. You could make the video and just put spoilers on the top. No, I know I could. Well, here's the point of what. Last week I got into more YouTube, the business side of things, and I tend to avoid that because I feel like it's one of those things that fans watching don't want to hear about. But in a real quick summation, I'm competing in an endless sea here with a lot of other people. Because the wrestling channel, I fit in a more unique demographic. Because the reality is of how I make the wrestling channel is I just treat it like a comic book channel. I talk about all these insights and these ideas or these formulas or other things that aren't really wrestling related, or adjacent, or I take techniques like writing techniques that you won't think about, but assigning them to wrestling and showing how they work. Stuff like that. People do that for comic books all the time, though. Comic book movies, that's very common. But for wrestling, nobody ever does it for wrestling. So that's something that's what I bring to the table. So I have less competition. There's a lot of things I can do on the wrestling channel that I don't have to worry about. But then when it comes to the comic book channel, a lot of the ideas and stuff that I want to talk about, treating it this exact same way, well, you could get that anyway, so why are you coming to me? And by the time I get a video out, especially with trying to maintain the wrestling channel and this channel, it's like by the time I get there, I feel like 100 videos have already come out that day about it. Movie reviews, I like doing them, but when I make them, I see it in the theater like a normal person when it comes out. I don't have special early access. So there are a lot of reviewers who see it earlier and then talk about it in their spoiler-free reviews. So when it comes to things like reviews about the movie or discussions about the movie and all that stuff like that, I'm perpetually behind because I have a normal person, no pre-release schedule. Kendall, I did hear about that, and I'm very sad that I didn't get to see it. Because I wanted to protect her from the injury. That's why I'm sad to see it. Hold on. Yeah, it's the 5th highest grossing movie of all time. I'm pretty sure it's gonna go. TJ, nah, you could. Oh, sorry. Don't just. TJ likes Jar Jar Binks. Okay, that's odd. No spoiler, guys. Let's not ruin for Harry. Yeah, just in general. There's gonna be plenty of time to talk about it. We don't need to talk about it right now. It's going to be more SJW Marvel. I'm not going to watch the film. Well, I don't think it. I hope it's not going to be that. Thoughts on Goldberg return to Crown Jewel Part 2 or whatever the show is going to be. It's Goldberg. I didn't care about the last time he came back. I don't care about now. I also want to know what they do with him. Like, if I've got stubble that I can be asked to shave. congrats on the stumble, buddy. I can't wait for more of this movie. I'm not a big vampire. Warhol Rambo, I think you know my thoughts on this. I don't have an issue with it. Dark Knight is your favorite comic book movie? Alright. Captain America Winter Soldier is mine. I think there is a way to do that, like Rosemary from. So she gets up in the morning and she goes to bed. She is Rosemary. She wants to do a 45-minute stream for England as Rosemary. Cool. Make a Justice League movie starring only WWE stars. Who plays Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, etc. Hmm. Huh. Torn on this one. Part of me just wants to put Roman Reigns as Superman, but I don't really want to do that. Or John Cena as Superman. Wonder Woman, it's a hard one. There was someone who competed in the Mae Young Classic who I can't remember her name, but I thought she was going in the first one. I thought she was I pictured her as Wonder Woman right away. She had almost a Linda Carter-esque look to her. If anyone knows who I'm talking about, please say so. But yeah, there was someone in the first Mae Young Classic that I thought definitely should have played her. Batman's a tough call. Who do you guys think? Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, who do you want to see play the Justice League if you have to use only WWE wrestlers? Dave, in your opinion, why do you think the Fantastic Four has a difficult time in succeeding? I think they have a hard time succeeding because there's a lot of people making apologies. I mentioned this before, and other people talked about this. Is that people have this fear of being cheesy. People have this fear of being campy. So they kind of either ignore certain foundations of it, or they almost feel the need to apologize and poke fun at it. And the Fantastic Four do have that issue where they can be very easily seen as hokey or cheesy or campy or whatever. And people don't know how to play that tone. They're afraid of it, so they don't hit it right. Cena does have the chin for Superman. So they don't have that commitment to it. And it's the same thing like Doom. They keep wanting to change his name, Victor Van Dam or Victor Domashev or whatever they want to call him. Or instead of just sticking, they eventually do stick to the name, call him Victor Von Doom. But it's like, why? Why can't you just? Why do you try to play with the name? Just let it go. It's his name, Victor Von Doom. Just call it a day. It's not the goofiest thing in the world. Okay. You know, like DC has a character whose real name is Dick Grayson in this day and age. Nobody's called it, or Beast Boy, Garfield Logan. Who's ever called that? It's like nobody gets called that, Garfield. And you know, DC, to my surprise, they have never decided to switch over and say his name is Richard Grayson, and everyone just calls him Rich now and just call it a day. And Garfield Logan, hey, he's just Gary Logan, or not Garfield Logan, you know, something else, Garrett Logan. They've never even toyed with changing his name. They've just gone right out there, even in Teen Titans, where nobody had real names. Went right out there, he's still Garfield. Young Justice, still Garfield. Nightwing, still Dick Grayson, just don't care about it. And it's like, I applaud it, I wouldn't mind it if they changed it, but they just go with it, and they're not even shy about it. The Fantastic Four are a team that people are perpetually, those handling it, don't know what to do with them. They don't know how to make them not the Fantastic Four. And that's why they keep failing at it. And the best example, and if you think that it's impossible to make a non-joke version of the Fantastic Four, or you can't do them not being campy, it's the classic example. It's The Incredibles. Just watch The Incredibles movie. That is a Fantastic Four movie mixed with a little bit of Watchmen, and it's done perfectly. And that is how you make the movie. In the end, they are a family. They care about each other. They don't take themselves as seriously. No, they're a little more lighthearted and fun. They're a little bit more sci-fi than The Incredibles, but as a whole, that is how you make that movie. Period. Okay, Nikki Bella's Wonder Woman. I guess I should have seen that coming. Kendall Taylor interested in joining Dave's Discord. Says AA. Sting should play the Joker. He did it at TNA and it was awesome. Yes, he did, but I don't know if it should. It is the right move. I was going to talk about Sting's age, but then again, I realized I don't know how old Joaquin Phoenix is. So for all I know, Joaquin Phoenix is. I don't think they're the same age. I think there's an age difference, but I have no idea. Superman and The Rock, Batman, Bret Hart, Wonder Woman, Sonya Deville. All right, I'll bite. Super Cena? Baron Corbin is Batman. No way. Ugh. Batman doesn't need a lisp. And also, he's too tall. Sonya Deville. Everyone's saying Sonya Deville. Dave, do you shave with or against the grain? Against. I go against, but that's because I have dark hair, like very dark hair. And if I go with, sometimes, like, I shave my head bald once, and even like that, you can see my roots, and it looks like I didn't shave if I did. So like even now you can kind of see it. So I go against the grain because it's the only way I can get the most out of it. So because I got to get really deep, or else you can see my roots. Because there's a lot of times where it feels perfectly smooth, but you can still see it. Like earlier here, I shaved this morning. You can kind of see the outline of it, like just very faintly, but it feels smooth, but I can see it. Finn is Green Arrow. Now, Finn has also been the Joker. How can we not throw him out there? He's also been Venom and Carnage, too. Wait, hold on. I just want to point this out there. We're talking about wrestlers playing the Justice League, and everyone's going to fail to mention Stephen Amell. I mean, if you want to count him as a wrestler. I just feel the need that someone should point this out by now. I hope Marvel Pictures handles the FF with care. I believe they will. I mean, Spider-Man. Look how they did Spidey good. Well, Nathan Norman, that is one way of putting it. Hi, everyone. Joaquin Phoenix is in late 40s, I think, yeah. I assumed Sting had to be older than him. I just wasn't sure how much. Because Joaquin Phoenix, for all I know, he could have been the same age as Sting. I have no idea. The guy's timeless. Because I feel like I've known Joaquin Phoenix like forever. It's like he's been famous since forever, so I have no idea how old he is. The new Nightwing comic I like because the head injury he got same happened to me. Wow, well, so you can relate to the character. All right, the same place I can relate and back to normal. Well, there you go. John Moxley is Punisher. Now, I thought of him as Batman at first, but doesn't quite have the look. But yeah, okay, I could get behind that. Yeah, and he played Jack the Ripper too, and Anti-Venom, and the Punisher, and blah, 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 blah. Ric Flair for Vince. See, I'd rather see Baron Corbin as Vandal Savage, because I buy that he's a unevolved caveman who just got lucky to be hit by a magic space rock and just will not go away no matter how much time has passed. Take that, Steve. Triple H for Slade. This is a random side note, but I took note as a kid that Triple H and Cyclops have the same height and have the same height and weight. At least they did at one point in time, or at least close enough. So I always took mental note of that. Not saying Triple H should play Cyclops. It was just something I noticed. Well, we saw Triple H and Blade Trinity, so I think we know that Triple H and comic books don't match well. And even though he's not necessarily the type for it, I will put Rob Van Dam as Ghost Rider. That is O'Neill Cyborg. He is way too old. Same as Batman. Okay, the oldest Marvel crossover. I do still hold faith or hope that one day I will see a Marvel DC crossover movie. Cyclops has more charisma than Triple H. Well, that's a tough call, because neither one of them is really rocking the likability department. Jean Grey, Becky Lynch keeps dressing up like Jean Grey from Ultimate X-Men, so I guess we should just put that out there. But the other difference between Cyclops and Triple H is that Jean Grey is not a dirty, bottom-feeding dime bag whore. So dime store, dime put. I don't remember what the rest is called. I'd say Seth is Slade. It's a right build, but they're all too young. Like everyone we're mentioning is young. Have we all forgotten Slade's like the Silver Fox? See Kofi playing Jon Stewart, Green Lantern. Really? I don't know who I'd give it to, but it's not Kofi. Taker is Ghost Rider. Well, no, Taker is Solomon Grundy. Excuse me one moment. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Sorry for leaving dead air. Sorry about that. So goes Steve Wilson as Taskmaster. Interesting. Christian as Deadpool. That is going to be my guarantee. I want to see that for sure. Christian as Deadpool. They do Nacho Libre, cheaper pop culture. Oh, but that requires me having to watch a Jack Black movie. Could you? I had thought about it. Triple H is still not good enough of an actor. And it'd be one thing if he was playing a villain, because he's kind of good at being an asshole. But if it was like Thor, it's like Otis as Juggernaut. As a kid, I always wanted Vader as Juggernaut. Yeah, that guy. Raw from 205 Live. I don't even know who came to Raw from 205 Live. Ron Simmons is Green Lantern. Too old. Can you grab Minnesota while you're out? Right here, buddy. New Jack as Black Manta. DC can make it happen. The closest thing we get to a DC Marvel crossover is that Lego game. Liv Morgan as Harley. Well, I guess that's pretty obvious. I want closer, Harry. I believe it will happen. I don't know why. No, Triple H is like no. Lex is my favorite character, and Triple H is damn near at the bottom of my list. I would throw up. There have been movies with Jack Black in it that I like, but they're few and far between. I'm not a big Jack Black fan. Like, I like Tropic Thunder and I like Orange County. Those are probably the only two movies I can think of with Jack Black in it that I liked. Cedric Alexander, I tend to avoid him like the plague. Like Quinn and Alexa Bliss as evil Supergirl. Power Girl? Who I did a drawing session of video, which is actually possibly my favorite drawing that I did on this channel, because I really like the way she turned out. Possibly. See, I would have liked Alexa Bliss. I want to see her as like Black Canary, but I think that's only because I think Black Canary's like probably supposed to be the prettiest superhero, and Alexa Bliss should be a bad guy, but still, not sure about that. It's finisher. It is the lumbar check. What are we talking about? Strowman as Sandman. Oh. How about Sandman is Sandman? I can't get. I don't see Cedric either. The problem with like Cedric is he's too happy. And as my judge a character, we talk about the different incarnations of Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart, for me, he's either been portrayed watch Judge a character to get a better idea, but he's definitely not happy. Like, that's one adjective I wouldn't give to Jon Stewart. Rock, no. It's cool if you like him, but I just find him annoying. I don't like Tenacious D like at all. I just get Kurt Angle as Lex Luthor. Okay. Well, I'd have no problem with that. Okay, Nathan Norman. That is a fair point. Nerdy Finn Balor as Spider-Man. Yeah, see, I could get that. I could get behind that. Black Canary as Paige. Nah, close. I mean, I think Black Canary needs to raid Paige's wardrobe. Vince McMahon is Darkseid. This is Lex Luthor. Sami Zayn is Snowflake. What's with the Christmas film with Jack Black and Kate Winslet? Those are good. I don't even know what that is. I didn't know Kate Winslet and Jack Black were ever in a movie together. They sort of like, hey, don't worry about it. You're getting your hair. Oh, cool. No, that's an intensive procedure. So yeah, I understand. Hey, you came pretty early. All to consider that. Drew McIntyre as Slade. Again, he's too young. Drew is Vando Savage. Well, he does look the part. Not comic book related, but John Cena is John Connor. That's a franchise I have totally given up on. And there's the Terminator comic book, so I'll let it go. I'd be the laziest Superman ever. There's Bob the Hydra Agent. Brie Bella as Squirrel. See, the problem is there are many different kinds of Squirrel Girls. So which one? Like, I wouldn't mind Bailey a Squirrel Girl. Shawn Michaels Green Goblin. That is not anything I would ever expect anyone to say together. Kevin Nash as Slade. He's the right age. He's way too tall, though. And you can't teach that. Vinny is getting a Harry Potter tattoo. All right. Oh, so I asked on Twitter which fan base has the most toxic, overly defensive fan bases. Somebody said Harry Potter. Somebody did say Sasha Banks. I will say, for the most part, Sasha Banks fans, for the most part, been pretty pleasant on the Honest Promo. Really hasn't been that bad. A lot of comments saying, I expected this to be worse. And I expected it to be worse, too. Don't get me wrong. I thought the exact same thing. It turns out it really didn't happen. Albert said iPhone users. I thought there was going to be, there's certain bands that I feel have that reputation, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. My answer is Zack Snyder fans. They are the most defensive, overly defensive fan base. That's my answer. Vegans. That's not a bad one. That's not a bad one. I don't know if anyone has had military service, but I do know when it comes to these two branches of the military competing against each other, they seem to get pretty tense against each other, and that's, Army and Navy. And the Marines. I never see Air Force people starting anything, though. I never hear Air Force people saying how they're the better and they don't like, they're so much better than this division or that division. I never hear Air Force people running their mouth. Just throwing that out there. Yes, Harry Flynn, that is true. Dave knows wrestling fans and Dave knows comics fans. Best fans. That is absolutely true. No, most Huskies fans are Penn State. Sports, I don't understand sports, so I'll take your word on as band sports. Metallica. Actually, Metallica. But I know a lot of Metallica fans who will fully admit that after a certain point, they completely jump the shark and they won't even be apologetic about it. Tool fans, that's interesting. That's tough. Who's more hardcore, wrestling fans or comic book fans? That's a tough call. What do you guys think? Jeez, Steve. I wasn't asking for an answer on that. I was just saying. What? Terrell, are you just naming random people? The Hammer, is that what it is? At first I didn't get that correlation at all, but now that I think about it, why is it the Hammer? Beatles fans is a good answer, AA. Yes. Yeah, who's more hardcore? It's tough. I feel like if you're going to be a comic book fan, there is so much more content over such a longer period of time that you have to dedicate to memory. Like, for wrestling fans, if you don't know anything about wrestling in the 60s, no one faults you for it, or the 50s, even the 70s to a degree. No one's going to fault it for you. But comic books, you kind of have to know a lot. And while, yeah, fine, we know that if you're 30, you obviously weren't reading comic books in the 60s. But still, you're expected to have a certain understanding of comic books of that era. You're supposed to know about the Golden Age, the Silver Age. You're supposed to know about their origins, what their, if you're a real fan, if you're a real comic book fan, there's a lot more effort that you have to put into it. And there's also a lot more material. So not only are you expected to know more, but you're also expected to know from a longer time period and more content. But when it comes to wrestling fans, if you really only know things going on from the 80s forward, no one really questions your fanhood. Nobody ever yells at you. It's like, how come you don't remember this event from 1967? Don't get me wrong; it impresses people when you do. If you point out certain things that happened, and to other like hardcore wrestling fans are like, whoa, all right, bow down. You know, so you get that advantage if you approach it like, again, if you approach wrestling like comics, which is what I do here. I still want to find a niche for this channel. Like, what can I do? Because you can't do the reverse of trying to treat the comic book channel like a wrestling channel. I think I've tried, but who knows? Yes, times the most powerful person ever get it. Buff Bagwell held what titles in WCW? Tag TV. Did he ever get the US? Not 100% sure about that. Off the top of my head, that's all I can think of. Any others that I might have missed? Or correct me if I was wrong about any of those. Which I'm pretty sure I don't. I'm pretty sure I'm not. TV and tag. Yeah, that's what I said. Anybody thinks Colt Cabana should have main event at WrestleMania? Not at this current juncture. Looking at those comics. Who was the original Green Lantern? Alan Scott, technically speaking. Nathan Lauren. He's asking me, Nathan, but yeah, Alan Scott. But Alan Scott's not a real Green Lantern. But Dave, don't you remember insert event from the 60s? Yeah, exactly. No one does that. You could have full-blown conversations with wrestling fans, and nobody will bring up the 60s, like, ever. You want to know, this is a cool story. Like, if you saw the intro to the wrestling channel, the closest conversation I ever had to that was with Kelly Klein, believe it or not. Me and her had a full-on conversation about wrestling, like really old wrestling, and it was like, can you top this? Do you know that? Me and her, because when I first met her, she's like, oh, you know wrestling, huh? Like, let's see what you got. And then we started just talking back and forth. And like we were going on so long, people were interrupting us, and she's like, no. And we were just like going on about it and just going on and on. And she's like, all right. Because it was like, she didn't just say, she was like, when I respect your G, that's when I'll plug your channel. And I was like, fine, gauntlet, throw down, let's throw. And it's like, let's play. And then we just started talking about it. But that's like the only time it's ever happened. Outside of that, you know, people might say, hey, don't you remember this Southern Territory in the 70s? Stuff like that. Sometimes the 70s comes up. For the most part, it's really just the 80s and onward. You know, like Steve. Never once has Steve thrown in my face something like said some weird, obscure thing from the 50s. And you don't yell at people if they don't know about something happening in the 60s or the 50s. So I think that's the difference. Nathan, what? Okay, wrestling fans don't care if you don't know how many champions WCW had in 2000, but comic book fans will freak out if you don't know. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Montoya. I think both fans are a lot alike. I think they are too. I don't understand how anyone I mean, it's fine if you like one but not the other, but I personally don't get it. I think they're very, very similar, so I've always liked both. A difference, good or bad? Yeah. I think they're very similar, so it always surprises me when someone likes one and not the other. Of course, again, you're entitled to, but it just always surprises me because I just view them as so similar. Green Lantern to me. I'm not saying he doesn't count as a superhero, but he's not a real Green Lantern. He's not, like, part of Green Lantern Corps for real. No, they're the most toxic people. Anyone who thinks he should have main evented. Do you really think CM Punk really is, after all, making his return with both AEW and WWE, mainly Vince himself throwing which one in? I don't know if it's about that, but I do believe that he's been, you know, making his surprise appearances. I don't know if he'll go for either company. If he goes to WWE, I'd be very, 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 very surprised. But yeah, just say Boy Haggerty. Remember Stu Hart? Well, yes, but who brings up Stu Hart matches? They bring up Stu Hart as a trainer. But how many people talk about like the crazy, and Stu's done crazy things. People don't bring how often do people bring up Stu's match against a tiger? And I don't mean like a guy named Tiger. I mean, I'm not talking Tiger Mask, or I'm talking about like an actual tiger, you know, or the bear he fought. Like that's like some crazy nonsense. Like how crazy you have to be to fight a bear. I don't care that the bear was gloved and muzzled and declawed or whatever, and it was a baby bear, not a full-grown bear, or what kind of bear it is. I don't care. It's a bear, and it's not a teddy bear. But do people talk about that enough? No, because I don't think anyone talks about it enough. Roddy Piper fought a bear, and nobody talks about that. And so it's like no one brings this stuff up, and it's not like it's boring. I also don't think anyone should do it, but still, it is very noteworthy, and no one talks about that. When people talk about Stu Hart, they're like, "Hey, he's Brit's dad, and he trains wrestlers." No one talks about the time to beat up a bear, or got beat up by a bear, but whatever. Or the time he fought a lion, like that's for the 50s and 60s. Or we talk about Gorilla Monsoon. People talk about him as a commentator. Nobody talks about him as when he was the wrestler with his gimmick, where he was like, the scary Gorilla Monsoon. As an Adam Pacini's favorite wrestler. Apparently, CM Punk is sticking with MMA. Verdict's out on that, but yeah. This is a pretty cool. George Hackenschmidt. Well, I'm not arguing with that. Steve, you're the worst, Steve, because I know you say tons of things you don't mean just to get at me. Steve, everyone know the trick. Steve does, he comes across as a super nice guy, but the trickery runs deep with him. Very Loki-like. To be honest, I wish I was there more. I wish there was more footage on the Hawaii territory, especially since message received, since heel Ripper Collins and just some dude from the Georgia territory. Good to know. I have briefly brought it up, but good to know. The evil character should be in. I know nothing about Resident Evil, other than Mila Jovovich is hot. And I hated how you turned around. My friend made me borrow that game, said it's amazing. After that, I said this game is stupid. Gave it back the next day in school. I said never again. I'm going to start my own comic book and wrestling company, Tailor Made Wrestling and Tailor Made Comics. Sounds good. Sounds good to me too. Didn't Kamala wrestle a gorilla once? I don't know if that was true. No one talks about Freddie Blassie as a wrestler either. No. You know who actually Steve is a lovely guy, but doesn't change that he's a bit of a trickery person. Thoughts on Lil Key's Hitman gimmick? It's fine. Oh, man, it was a nice long stretch where we went without talking about Justina, but I guess that streak is over. Don't you want Justina playing Lockjaw? Jersey was in for January. Well, yes and no. I mean, yeah, he was a monster, but I kind of think he was ascending that way anyway. Supergirl. Hey, Dave, since we seem to have the same haircut, do you have a cowlick? Yeah, I do. This haircut is shorter just because the person cutting my hair made it shorter than I wanted it, but, what are you going to do? Stop Ollie as Simon Bass, Green Lantern. I never thought to come to this point, but Nikki is Supergirl. How many people do you want Nikki to play? Do you want every female in this DC movie to be Nikki Bella? Don't answer. I know it's yes. I know that's your answer. It's just I can't believe we got to this point, but I feel like Earth has too many Green Lanterns at this point. No, who that is, but just from the name, I'm thinking. Lockjaw is a big alien dog. I forgot you're not the biggest comic book guy, but I was like, when I said it, I'm like, he's going to be so mad. But now that I have to explain it, I think it's even funnier. Rarely do people talk about Dutch Mantel as a wrestler. That is true. That is absolutely true. But he's not as old as, Hackenschmidt. But yes, once you go past a certain point, people just kind of stop talking about it. And I even think this is true about sports too, but to a degree. But I think sports fans are a little higher, or a little more demanding, because there's a lot of statistics and numbers that sports fans do tend to commit to memory that people give you crap for if you don't know about it. But that's not my area whatsoever. That's it. I was hoping you Googled Lockjaw and it got really bad. I hope you Googled Lockjaw and it got and then the Inhumans came up and then you saw the redhead and you're like, oh, maybe that's who he meant, not knowing that I really meant the dog. I should have let you go with it. Still talking about visible parties. Yeah, so sports fans are a little more so than wrestling fans. Not as bad as comic book fans. So there you go. I think that's a good way to put it. Wrestler, remember the pep talk during Invasion? Zeb Coulter wrestled in 2000. Well, if we want to call it that. If we want to call it wrestling, sure. I think it's best if the Inhumans just never get brought up again. And I'm not just saying this because the last iteration was such a dumpster fire, because I just don't like the Inhumans. I think they're stupid. Least favorite part, by far, from Marvel Alliance, the game. Awful! Just so awful. Have you ever thought of doing a video to explain how DC has changed through all the Tears Crisis? I have thought about it. The crisis situations has always fascinated me. This is what normally happens. See, here's the other issue that I have. Normally, I think of an idea for a comic book, for a comic video on the comic book, and then someone major will beat me to it. It's like I was going to explain the whole timeline of Endgame, like how of how the events transpired at to Endgame. Everybody's done that. There's something else. There's a couple things I don't even want to talk about because it's like who knows who's going to steal it. But when it comes to wrestling stuff, most of the time I just sit here and I could publish it like a year from now and nobody will touch it. And there's some subjects that I think are weird. Like if you Google the Armstrong curse, the first thing that pops up is me, and it's been like that from before since I made the video, and it's so. And I'm not complaining. I'm glad. I think that's a good thing. But it's just crazy to me that there are certain subjects that I think are pretty important or prevalent to wrestling, and nobody ever makes videos on them. I made the Armstrong Curse video because I was talking about it with my friend who was a big wrestling fan, and he didn't know what the Armstrong Curse was, and I found out a lot of wrestling fans don't know what it is either. So I said I need to make a video about it, just explaining, because this is something that they've heard of vaguely but didn't know what it was. Some people thought it was more tragic than it is, and it's not. It's a booking thing, so stuff like that, yeah. Nathan Norman, yeah, I really still think they should have made Darkseid the bad guy on Justice League, but seeing how that movie turned out, I guess it's better off that he waited. And I want Michael Ironside playing him. This original Day Humans. Ugh. Humans are so bad. Static Shock doesn't. Yeah, Static Shock is a character I would like to see done well, and I thought he was done fairly well in the DC animated universe. Young Justice looked like they were going to give him a little more play than they did, and they wound up not even going anywhere with him. It's like your video has. Yes, think. Hope Jeff Hardy gets well soon. I do too. If you want a real thing to show themes, change differences between the original Mask comics before a movie and after a movie. Yes, yeah, well, yeah. Talking all that smack about Alexa, talking a little bit of smack against your girl, and all of a sudden can't take it. Hate to tell you this, I just do it better, and Alexa Bliss is hotter. Only became a thing because Marvel. Yeah, but even in the comic books, I didn't like. Even the comic books, I never liked the Inhumans. I just think they're dumb. Like the character of Lockjaw, I just think is stupid. Like it's a big teleporting space dog. Like it's just dumb. Forget cheesy or hokey, I just think it's stupid. But yes, that is the only reason that I think they got brought to live action. Too old, but okay, Harry Flynn. I'll never make him. Okay. You know what Legion was? I love Legion. I can't wait for season 3. Sadly, guys, season 3 is going to be the end of the show. Interesting interview came out. Hey, going back to the old news days of it. Interesting interview came out where they said they had 2 options about where to take the character of David. The first season was he thought he was a bad guy, and then he discovered that maybe he's more of a good guy than he thought, or maybe he's more in control than he thought, or maybe he's not as bad as he thought. It was more of a revelation that way. Second season was he discovered he's more bad than he initially thought, or he's not as good as he was hoping that he would be. So they said the third season is going to be the deciding, where's it going to turn out, and that's the overall season arc. And I'm really not ruining anything, but it's about the idea of him discovering things about himself. And the third season is going to be knowing that it's going to be the final season is going to direct them in the direction they want to go, which I think is going to be pretty cool. But I do like the series a lot. It's like the things you find out in the beginning leads him to think certain things about himself and his life, and then the second season, certain things about make him find something else about his life and puts it in a different light. I watch a lot of comic book stuff. One thing I never see many talk about old school comics was me when it's coming out is love new comic fan stories I grew up on. Made me love comic books. It's like when I think of my early days of comic books, it's a lot of goofy stuff, and that's what I remember. It's like I liked the Batman live-action show when I was a kid. As an adult, it's a weird show. I really liked Spider-Man when I was really little because Spider-Man came out when I was like really small, and I ate that goofy stuff up. Space Surfing Man of Silver that selects planets for. I am the only one tired of Lars Sullivan. Nobody, I'm with you. I mean, is Lockjaw any more dumb than Howard the Duck? Oh, I think Howard the Duck is stupid too. But yes, I think it's more dumb. I think Lockjaw is worse. Lockjaw and Tippy Toe should have a team up just to get killed off. Like, I don't like Squirrel Girl. I don't like Rocket Raccoon. And I know I get flack for that, but I really don't like Rocket Raccoon. I think Rocket Raccoon is just a dumb concept. Why do you say dumb things you know you don't mean? Arthur, you can't be this stupid. I mean, you can be, but you shouldn't be. Have you heard they're making a Zombieland 2? They've been making that forever. I really like the first one a lot, though. My first Dave Knows Comic Books live stream. Hey, what up, Base Up? Welcome over to the live stream for the comic book channel. And yes, Netflix picks up the option. From my understanding of it, it's like they were hoping to keep going, but Legion really wants to end it. Like from my understanding of it, they're ending the series. Like they have a definitive ending in it. The definitive ending to how the series is going down at the end of the third season. Well, welcome, Base Up. Always a generous super chat supporter. Thank you for coming on the comic book live stream. Thank you. And thank you for the thumbs up, guys. As long as you, Disney or Nick. Oh, I was a Nickelodeon guy all the way as a kid. Pretty sure Bradley Cooper is doing. I heard he was doing an Al Pacino impression. But who knows? Maybe he's not doing it either. And see, that's the thing that gets me through for Rocket Raccoon in the movie, is that I really like Bradley Cooper. How he's like the voice of a guy and not Bradley Cooper as like muscular, good-looking Bradley Cooper is beyond me on screen. But, whatever. Who else here grew up on Super Friends on Tuma? I grew up on Super Friends, like when it was on. I didn't have to wait till Toonami, but there you go. No, she is not. Yeah, the OG Jessica Jones show. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, guys. Okay. Would love to see someone do an abridged type thing with old pay-per-views, like having it play on the commentary. Yeah, I would love to do stuff like that, but of course legally you can't. But I would love to do to call a match. Like it would be so much fun to have like Steve come on and we call a match, an old WWF pay-per-view. Yeah, Arthur, you're out of your mind. I mean, Vin Diesel. I'm glad. Yeah, Vin Diesel, another jack guy. Like, how come they didn't get voice people? I mean. No complaining on their voice work, they're doing a great job. It's just that both of these guys look like superheroes. How come they're, or supervillains, or whatever, or super characters? How come they're not on my screen? Well, yes, he is better as a regular actor, as a voice actor, than a regular actor. That Vin Diesel, that is true. Studies him back in the day. Interesting. WCW I'm torn on because it had so many different lives. It had traveled through so many different incarnations. It's hard to pick which one was the best, for me at least. Because they're so very different from each other, where WWF has always had a pretty solid narrative. Yeah, there's different eras for sure, but I feel like, and yeah, the Attitude Era and the 80s were very different, but for the most part, you can see that they use similar tricks. They use things like star power. They've always been more story-focused. They've always been more personality-driven. How's Finn Morris on the main roster? Liv Morgan is an acceptable answer. I will still take Alexa Bliss, but Liv Morgan is a perfectly acceptable answer. Despite what I said in that episode of Monday Night Raw, I just said that because Derek stole my answer, and so therefore I had to say someone different. Jim Herder, nobody thinks that's true. Nobody. Bailey, okay. I don't know what I'm talking about Bailey for, but alright. Harry Flynn, I know that's your girl, but I'm taking Alexa over Nikki. And this is going to drive you crazy, Harry Flynn. I take Brie over Nikki. Sorry if that upsets you, buddy. But just look at it this way. That frees Nikki up for you. But yeah, I would take Brie over Nikki. Since I've... Oh, Nikki Bella all day long, Harry Flynn. Yeah, don't sweat that. Not even a contest. Who in their right mind would take Justina over Nikki Bella? Does I become a wrestling fan just says okay. Looks like a soccer mom. Man, what soccer games are you watching? Yeah, being too cute is always a problem with attractiveness, Arthur. You make no sense. Jim Neidhart. What are we saying here? I'm very confused, Nathan Norman. Ah, I see. Jim Neidhart need no reason. Asking for Nikki Bella's hand in marriage? He absolutely is. If I prefer Sasha Banks. See, what holds me back about Sasha is like look. I also know a lot of girls dye their hair, and I'm not aware of it. But I don't like, I've made this very clear. I don't like implants. I don't like those, and I'm not, and I know Sasha doesn't have them. But I tend to like girls a little more natural. I don't like collagen implants. I don't like those lip injections. I don't like implants. I don't like dyed hair and all that. And I know that Sasha's not guilty of a lot of that. But the dyed hair thing, like Sasha, it works for her. It works for her wrestling character. Just like, why does like half of New Japan's roster have like dyed blonde hair? Who knows? But it's like a thing they do. And it works for a wrestling persona. But yeah, I like a girl that, and Alexa Bliss, I'm sure, it's like super blonde. But I don't care. I like that. So it's like, if you're going to dye your hair, go super blonde with me. And I know she also has implants as well. Not the biggest fan of either of those. It's just she's so beautiful, it overrides all my natural instincts. But normally I'm against, like, I want a little more natural. So, Sears, we're in soccer moms. Yeah. Like the song says, Harry Flynn, you can look but you can't touch. Harry Flynn's ready to challenge that. No, base up. Let's not do that. It meant, oh, she is super cute, as in, like, Liv. I see Liv as pretty sexy. She took an injury working a pole dance. Yeah, not me, amigo. Just not me. But hey, each their own. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up this comic book stream. Thank you for coming on. Tried something a little different this week, going on the comic book channel instead. Thank you for being on. Let me know if you want more of these kind of live streams here on the comic book channel, especially since my drawing apparatus is not available. Do you think it's right what Vince is doing to Luke Harper? Video coming about. Kind of interested in that. But to answer your question, Kendall, no. All right, guys, thank you for coming on. Thank you for supporting. Just wanted to shoot the breeze and talk on the comic book channel for a change. Also, let me know down in the comments what you're looking for a comic book channel. What do you want? Yeah, let's make this channel even bigger. Let's really get this channel going. But thank you so much for watching. And as always, Dave notes.